It was a warm Monday morning in the small suburban town of Brooksville, a place where everyone seemed to know everyone else, or at least, they thought they did. The town had its charming coffee shops, brick-paved streets, and rows of modest houses where neighbors waved as they collected their morning newspapers. Brooksville Middle School sat on the corner of Maple Street and Pine Avenue, a tall red brick building with a slightly rusty flagpole that whistled when the wind blew. Inside, the hallways were already buzzing with the chatter of students, the squeak of sneakers on polished floors, and the occasional call from a teacher telling kids to get to class. This school had seen its fair share of drama, but no one could have predicted the storm that was about to unfold that week. The day started like any other for Mrs. Eleanor Sanders, a substitute teacher in her late 30s with chestnut brown hair, sharp blue eyes, and a calm demeanor. She had been working as a substitute in Brooksville for about 3 months, filling in for teachers on maternity leave or sick days. Eleanor was always polite, soft-spoken, and impeccably dressed, often wearing neatly pressed slacks and light-colored blouses. But beyond her calm exterior was a woman with an extensive background in education, a fact very few in the community actually knew. Eleanor held dual master's degrees in education and behavioral psychology, and had once taught at a prestigious private academy in Chicago. She had moved to Brooksville after her husband passed away, hoping for a quieter life. She didn't seek recognition, she just wanted to teach in peace. Meanwhile, in 8th grade homeroom, Jalen Carter was already causing trouble. Jalen was a 14-year-old black student, tall for his age, with a mischievous smile and a reputation for testing the limits. He wasn't a bad kid at heart, but he had a stubborn streak and a deep sense of pride that often clashed with authority figures. Teachers often labeled him as difficult without ever trying to understand the reasons behind his behavior. Jalen's mother, Angela Carter, was a single parent who worked double shifts at the local hospital. She was loving but exhausted, and Jalen often felt like he had to raise himself. That Monday morning, Jalen strolled into homeroom late, earbuds dangling, hoodie up, and a bag of chips in his hand. "Jalen, you're late," Eleanor said softly but firmly, looking up from her attendance sheet. Jalen smirked and slouched into his chair. "Yeah, traffic in the hallway," he said, rolling his eyes, popping a chip into his mouth. A few of his classmates snickered. "Please remove your hood and earbuds," she instructed, maintaining her calm tone. Jalen pretended not to hear. Instead, he turned to whisper something to his friend, Marcus, causing a ripple of laughter in the room. Eleanor took a deep breath, walked over, and crouched beside his desk. She didn't yell, didn't threaten detention, she simply spoke in a measured voice. "Jalen, I know mornings are tough. But in my class, respect is a two-way street. Take off the hood, take out the earbuds, and join us. I believe you can do that." The room went quiet. Most students expected her to yell like the usual substitutes did, but her calm approach threw Jalen off. He hesitated, then slowly removed his hood but left one earbud dangling. Eleanor raised an eyebrow, waiting. With an exaggerated sigh, Jalen finally took it out. "Fine," he muttered. Things went smoothly until the last period of the day, when Eleanor was supervising a small group project. Jalen started tossing a crumpled paper ball across the room, distracting everyone. Eleanor approached and placed the paper ball on her desk. "Jalen," she said quietly, "I can see you're restless. Would you like to step outside for a minute to reset?" "Nope," he said defiantly, leaning back in his chair. "Then we need to find another way for you to refocus." Eleanor straightened up and addressed the class. "Jalen will sit up front for the rest of the period." That was the spark that lit the fire. Jalen's pride flared up. "Why you always picking on me?" he snapped, his voice rising. "It's 'cause I'm black, huh? Bet you wouldn't move Marcus up here if he was fooling around." The room fell silent. A few students exchanged wide-eyed looks. Eleanor paused, letting the tension settle before responding. "Jalen," she said slowly, "this is about behavior, not skin color. And yes, I would do the same for anyone disrupting learning. I want you to succeed. That's why I'm holding you to the same standard as everyone else." Jalen glared but reluctantly moved his seat. After class, he stormed out, muttering under his breath, "I'm telling my mom." The next day, Brooksville was buzzing. By lunchtime, a rumor had spread like wildfire. The new sub disrespected a black student and embarrassed him in front of the whole class. By evening, posts popped up on the town's Facebook community page. Someone even shared a shaky cell phone video of Jalen moving his seat with a caption that read, "Substitute targets black student." Disgraceful. Angela Carter was livid when she saw it. She marched into the principal's office the next morning, her scrubs still smelling faintly of antiseptic from her overnight shift. "I want that woman removed," she demanded. "She humiliated my son. He said she's got it out for him. Is this what we're teaching kids? That they can be singled out for being who they are?" The principal, Mr. Robert Whitaker, was a tall, gray-haired man known for his diplomacy. He promised to look into it and called Eleanor in for a meeting. Eleanor sat quietly as Angela vented. When it was her turn to speak, she explained everything that had happened, sticking to the facts. "I want Jalen to feel respected," she said gently. "But I also want him to learn. My actions were about maintaining order and helping him succeed. That's all." Angela wasn't convinced. "I've seen the video. It looked bad." "I understand how it looked," Eleanor replied. "But sometimes a short video doesn't tell the full story." The principal decided to call for a meeting with several teachers, Jalen, Angela, and a few members of the school board to address the growing uproar in the community. By that evening, more parents were weighing in online. Some accused the school of racial insensitivity, others defended Eleanor, saying discipline had nothing to do with race. Brooksville was suddenly divided over an incident that most of them hadn't even witnessed. At the meeting in the school gym, tensions ran high. Angela sat with her arms crossed, Jalen beside her with a mix of defiance and embarrassment. Community members filled the bleachers, murmuring among themselves. Principal Whitaker opened the floor, and Angela repeated her concerns. My son was singled out. He's not perfect, but he doesn't deserve to be humiliated. Then Eleanor stood. Her voice was steady but warm. I understand why this is painful, but I also want you to know who I am and why I teach. I've dedicated 15 years to education, earned 2 master's degrees, and specialized in supporting students with behavioral challenges. I chose this path because I believe every child deserves a chance to thrive, no matter their background. The room went quiet. Even Angela blinked in surprise. Eleanor continued, I didn't come here to embarrass Jalen. I came here to lift him up, to challenge him, because I believe he is capable of greatness. I've seen kids like him transform when someone holds them to a high standard with care and respect. Murmurs rippled through the audience. One of Jalen's other teachers, Mrs. Lopez, spoke up. I've seen how Ms. Sanders interacts with students. She's fair. Jalen, she believes in you. All eyes turned to Jalen. He shifted uncomfortably in his seat. His tough exterior began to crack. I guess I was acting up, he admitted softly. Sometimes I feel like teachers don't care. But she didn't yell at me. She just wanted me to listen. Angela looked at her son, then back at Eleanor. I didn't know you had that kind of background, she said slowly. I thought you were just another sub. That's the thing, Eleanor said gently. Titles don't matter. What matters is that I care about your son and every child in that room. By the end of the meeting, the tension had eased. The community realized they had judged Eleanor without knowing the full story. Angela apologized publicly for assuming the worst, and Jalen promised to give school more effort. Over the next few weeks, Eleanor continued teaching. And slowly, Jalen began to change. He started participating more in class, and one day, he even stayed after school to show Eleanor a poem he had written about his life. Months later, Brooksville's community page lit up again, but this time with a photo of Jalen holding a first-place ribbon from the regional poetry slam. The caption read, "Local student shines thanks to a teacher who believed in him." And beneath it, Angela had commented, "Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. Sometimes it takes a village and a teacher who sees the best in our kids." In the end, what started as a storm of misunderstanding became a lesson in patience, empathy, and the quiet power of a teacher's belief. Eleanor never sought recognition, but she earned the respect of the community and, more importantly, the trust of a young boy who just needed someone to see past his defenses.